Thousands of British holidaymakers in Portugal, as we know, face a mad dash to get back to the UK after that country was moved into the amber list for travel without any warning at all, while no new countries have been added to the green list.
Well, with COVID infection rates rising, it appears the government's hoping that reining in the public summer holiday plans will help keep the planned easing of restrictions on track. Joining us now is the Housing Secretary Robert Jenrick. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, Grant Shapps told MPs back on April the 29th he was concerned about this system of countries jumping between lists. He said there'd be a green watch list and people would get adequate notice if one country was going to move. That hasn't happened, has it? You have left a lot of holidaymakers in limbo. A lot of chaos is going to ensue with people not knowing what they should do about their holiday plans or potentially being trapped over there and thinking now they're going to have to quarantine to get back.
Well, good morning. I appreciate that people will be disappointed and frustrated, particularly if you're in Portugal right now or you've got bookings to travel or indeed you're working in the travel sector. But we always said that we were prepared to take decisive action if necessary, if things were changing rapidly. The watch list was created and exists if we can, but that's really designed for if you're seeing gradual increases in cases in countries abroad. With variants, I think we've all learned that we need to take really decisive and quick action where we're seeing them. And that's one of the reasons why we've chosen to take Portugal off the green list and put it onto the amber list right now, because although the UK also has the so-called Indian variant, in Portugal, they're starting to pick up a mutation, a further mutation of that variant, what's become known as the Nepal variant. And we want to make sure that whilst we're learning about that variant, seeing how concerning it is, that we take the most cautious approach possible, which is to limit travel to Portugal from Tuesday onwards.
There has been confusion, though, hasn't there? And you've been accused of not having enough clarity around this traffic light system. So just to clear it up for people, are you saying you're OK to go on holiday to a green country, but bear in mind that situation might change? But are you saying, for definite, do not go on holiday to an amber or a red country?
That's right. You shouldn't be booking holidays to amber or red countries. You can do to green countries, but you have to appreciate this isn't a normal time for going on holiday. If you do book, these holidays are, in some doubt because they're being reviewed every 3 weeks. And if you do make that booking, I would certainly try to book through an operator that gives you the flexibility to get a refund or to reschedule at short notice.
So should people be going on holiday to Portugal? If they've got a holiday booked, if they're about to go, are you saying to them now it's on the amber list, they shouldn't go?
You shouldn't be going on holiday to countries that are on the amber list. So from 4 a.m. Tuesday, when Portugal moves from green to amber, at that point, Brits shouldn't be going on holiday there.
OK, it's impossible to divorce the politics from a decision like this, however much it may or may not be based on the medicine. It's been suggested that this is a bit of a case of taking with one hand and maybe giving with the other. How much of this is linked to the 21st of June, in the sense that if you do this now, you can give us some good news when you make the next big decision on the 14th? It's a kind of a quid pro quo.
Well, the two principal reasons that we've made this decision were that, firstly, the positivity in Portugal was rising very rapidly. In fact, it had doubled in 3 weeks to a much higher level than we were seeing in the UK. And then secondly, because there was growing evidence of this further mutation of the virus, the Nepal variant as it's being described. But you're right to say that we've made a lot of progress domestically in recent months, and we don't want to put that at risk. And so it is sensible to take an ultra-cautious approach to international travel, difficult though that is for many people, in order to protect what we've already achieved and to give us the best chance of moving forwards with the next stage of the reopening here on the 21st of June.
What's your gut about that? Do you think we're going to be all right on the 21st of June?
Well, we've managed to move through the roadmap thus far, because people have stuck to the rules, because the vaccine rollout has been so successful. We've reached the point where 50% of adults in the UK have had 2 jabs, 75% or more have had at least one. I got my first one last week. So we're certainly doing everything that we can as a country to enable us to take that next step on the 21st of June. But I think it's fair to say that there is a high degree of caution being applied right now. We're going to continue to review the data over the course of the next 10 days, and then the Prime Minister will make the final call on the 14th of June. I hope that we will be able to move forwards.
Okay.
But I think we're going to have to proceed quite carefully and look at that data in the next few days.
So do you think that we will still have social distancing, or an element of it? We'll still have mask wearing? Will you still be encouraging people to work from home? Because I think for those people who are in the situation they are at the moment, looking ahead to June the 21st, hoping everything is going to open up fully, it's probably quite useful, if that's not going to happen, to start to give people the advice that actually we need to make sure that we rein in our expectations.
Well, we've designed the roadmap so that there is notice. Of course, people would always like more notice, but we have designed it so that a decision is made on the 14th of June with 7 days' notice to the 21st. I appreciate that for some businesses, the social distancing rules make a really big impact. So if you're able to have more people inside your cafe or bar, or you're an employer and you're able to ask people or encourage them to come back to the workplace, you'd like as much notice as you possibly can. But I think under the circumstances, it's right for us to use the next 10 days to really analyse that data as much as we can, and to keep expediting the vaccine rollout, because the more people we can get jabs into their arms, the better placed we'll be come the 21st of June. But as I say, the data at the moment suggests that we are able to proceed with the roadmap, but I think with an increased degree of caution, as we're seeing these new variants, we're seeing what's happening in other parts of the world.
OK, very quickly, forgive my cynicism, but you talk about caution. How is it that your cabinet colleague, Mr Gove, has been pinged on track and trace, and yet, like the rest of us, he doesn't have to isolate? He's just doing tests.
Well, I haven't spoken to Michael, so I don't know all of the details of exactly what's happened to him. It sounds like the system worked. So he went to a country that was on the green list. He then got pinged. He's self-isolating and will be doing testing. So that's encouraging. He's taking part, as I understand it, in a pilot where people can have slightly different circumstances to otherwise. But I'm sure he's going to take all the necessary precautions. He's not been coming into the office.
Just strikes a lot of people as a very convenient pilot scheme, which we can't all take part in, that's all. You know, one rule for you and one for us.
Well, there are lots of these schemes happening, different types of pilots across the country to help people to go into venues, to go to nightclubs, go to sporting events and so on. We learn a lot from these, and with this extra evidence and information, we're able, of course, to move forward with the roadmap.
All right, Mr Jenrick, thank you for your time.